like my goal with this long term is I want to create something that's easy for students to read and look at, and hopefully in the future help future students, whether they're high schoolers or transfer students, pick a program that fits their needs and their goals. So I want to say, I went to Texas Tech for my undergrad, and I was very fortunate that when I switched my major from like pre-med to dietetics, I ended up fitting right in, and it was a program that was perfect for me, but I know that's not the case for so many people. So my research, I compared 18 DPD programs in the state of Texas, and I basically compared the science versus nutrition credits. We calculated all of the credit hours that were involved, and then the course presence. So the focus was looking at the curriculum difference. And for example, I think, you can really read it up there. But so for instance, there's one of the biggest ranges I had, the highest variability was chemistry. One school would only offer one chemistry course, and then another school is requiring 4 chemistry courses. But both of those universities meet the same Ascend standards. So all of those students are being prepared for the same exam, the same end goal, but it's just how deep they get into the science and the issues behind it. The lessons I learned, something I learned, doing this is my first ever research, it's my first ever conference, and when I was doing this research, I learned how difficult it is to get resources online from these different universities. It wasn't until I got my bachelor's in December and started this project that I realized on the university websites, they have a list of the careers they prepare you for as a student, as well as skills on top of preparing you to become an RD one day. Again, my goal with this research is to bring transparency into the course differences, and hopefully, give students, by the time you're 18, you're transferring programs, you already have an idea if you are if you like science, or if you prefer to be more, hands-on, more patient interactions. And so having, I think, a spreadsheet like this allows people to kind of pick a program that better aligns with who they are as an individual. And hopefully it can help somebody, keep from transferring later on or dropping out because they feel like they're not good enough. And in reality, they just aren't in the right program. So, it was really difficult doing this in my off period because you have to balance family issues and life. So just making sure that I had time for this, feeling like I was doing enough. Every time I met with my mentor, I was telling him, I feel like I'm messing this up. I feel like it's wrong. Now that it's here in person and I presented it, I'm so proud of the work I've done. And like I said, this is my first research, so it kind of killed the imposter syndrome a little bit. Some of the challenges I faced were finding relevant publicly available data online. The schools are not required to upload a new degree plan every single year, only when there's changes to their degree plans. So, some of these are from 2023, some of them are further, and it was just kind of trusting that what they had online, which is what any student would do looking it up, was relevant. Some of the other challenges, the course names differ. For instance, for chemistry, some schools were labeled as general chemistry, some were allied chemistry, and it kind of grouped everything into one figure. And so just trying to understand and digest that data. And then I think some advice that I have for people is, if you're looking at programs, whether it's undergrad, master's, or future, take time to do the research. I hope that I can continue this and make it something that is publicly available for people to access, even though it's a little bit past our time. Look at your strengths, and then also if you're looking at research, absolutely do it. Because I really thought that I was incapable of doing something like this, and being here today, I'm gonna cry. It was so cool, and I'm looking at everybody and I'm like, wow, we are all here for the same reason. We all did the same thing together, and we worked hard to get to where we are. So I hope my little presentation made sense, but yeah, thank you.